The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Put your bad self. Say it loud. Say it loud. Look here. Some people say we got a lot of malice. Some say it's a lot of love. But I say we won't quit moving until we get what we deserve. We've been abused and we've been scorned. We've been treated bad, talked about, as sure as you moan. Just as sure as it takes 2 eyes to make a pair. Brother, we can't quit until we get our share. Say it loud. Say it loud. One more time. Say it loud. I've worked on jobs with my feet in my hand.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Say It Loud. I am your host, Gee, along with my co-host,
Shari.
and it's a pleasure of being back here once again, to bring you some more information on what's going on in our community, the community that we live in. So we're going to start this off with, I remember last week I said that I was going to discuss about my job at USC, and I will go into that. Just give me a moment before I go into that. I want to give shouts out to a lot of people who supported the show. I got a lot of good reviews on the show. A lot of people tuned in. A lot of people liked the information. Some said it was harsh, but some said it was real. And that's the only thing I can do is keep it real with you. First off, I want to just bring up the situations that we have out here. Again, we have protests out here about the Black Lives Matters. I'm not going into that situation too much right now. I'll just say that as black men and women, we already know what we need. We don't need any more educational programs. We don't need any more of these so-called Negro leaders that's in office now telling us to follow them and do it like this or do it like that. We need checks in the mailbox.
Right. Money
needs to come straight directly to black men and women. They talk about reparations. Let's not talk about reparations. Let's talk about preparations. Let's talk about how our community looks opposed to everyone else's community. Our community is raggedy, boarded down, people walking around disheveled. We are a rich people. We are a rich community. A friend of mine told me today, he said when we was by ourselves and doing it by ourselves, we had everything we needed once we stayed amongst ourselves in our own community. Now you have everyone else coming to our communities and they want us out of the communities that we've been living in or that we were born in. So we have to put a stop to that immediately. I don't really want to go in on the fact that the Negro leaders that are in position, that have been in positions for years and years and years, has done nothing for the black community. You already know they haven't done anything for the black community, but yet they there. The first time I seen Maxine Waters, maybe a month ago, she was passing out face masks in the projects. And I'm asking myself, why would she be passing out a face mask in the projects? They get them away free. You're a public elected official. Why aren't you handing out checks, greenbacks? Hey, here's a check for $1,000. This is for your household. That would have been more newsworthy than her creeping around the projects handing out face masks with the news media following her. That's not newsworthy. Newsworthy is when you can change one's life. Like when somebody win a lottery, how they get excited and just overly overjoyed about having some money in their pocket. That's what we need at this moment. They're talking about defunding the police department. Okay, let's go right there. Let's stay there. I don't have anything against the police department. In fact, I like the police department. I think we need them. I think if they're not around, it'll be a lot of lawless activity. There's a lot of criminal activity and elements waiting for this defunding to go down. And once you say, okay, let's take the money away from the police department, but you don't put it in the black people's hands and you put it in all these programs, black people are still out here poor and crime is now really on the rise. So if you defund the police department, who are you going to fund? You can't fund the black Negro leaders anymore because they've robbed and stole all the money that they can steal. They on top of the hill. We're on the bottom of the hill. How can somebody that lives on the top of the hill tell us what to do while we on the bottom of the hill? They don't know what goes on the bottom of the hill. All they do is look at news reports. They don't even want their family members mixing with the bottom of the hill. So if you're at the top of the hill, stay at the top of the hill. Let the ones that live on the bottom stay on the bottom of the hill. We'll figure a way out of this. But now, if you're defunding the police department, then that money needs to come directly to the black community, black men and black women, right to their mailboxes, period. Each and every black man and woman should receive no less than $1 million in their mailbox. And I'll tell you why. They were brought here against our will. We were all brought here against our will. And they may say, well, you haven't picked no cotton, G. I pick cotton every day because my ancestors picked cotton, and that was inherited down to me. So when you don't actually see me out there picking cotton because there's no more cotton fields, but yet there's a minimum wage paying jobs, that's equivalent to out there picking cotton. And you may say, well, what's a minimum wage paying jobs? Every job out here that starts anything below $50 an hour. Even if you're making $50 an hour, it turns into maybe $20 an hour because the taxes, your premiums, your insurance, your car note, your rent, your health care, all that takes off the top first before you even get your check. Then all the taxes that black men and women have to pay. Do you know black men and women are the only people in this country that pay taxes? Why, you might say that? How do I know that? Well, because when they bring people to this country, they don't bring them here with an EBT card and Section 8 because they know you can't make it like that. See, that's set up for the black men and black women. There are people walking around with EBT cards with $100,000 on it. And I couldn't believe it until I heard it myself. I have a friend of mine. She works at a Beverly Hills pharmaceutical company. I'm not saying no names or anything, but she said an individual walked in there. An item he had was only $3. And he presented her with the EBT card. And she said when she slid it through, it came up that it was $75,000 on one side and $25,000 on the other side. And she said, sir, I can't accept this card. And he said, well, I don't have $3. We don't pay for nothing in this country. We pay for nothing in this country. And I'm thinking, well, how do you get an EBT card with $100,000 on it, and yet black men and women who have been in this country forever, they get EBT cards with barely $500 or $600 on it, with some Section 8 that's put them in the projects. But yet, she said this man had a Brentwood address on his ID.
Wow. 2
places. Another friend of mine worked for CVS over in Beverly Hills. She said another one walked in there, and he had $60,000 on one side, and he had another $20,000 on the other side. And I'm saying that's really unbelievable. But it's believable because when you look at it, these individuals that come to this country and they get sworn in, they're not your neighbors. They nowhere around you. And they just got to this country. Yet you've been here forever. You could be working on your job for 30, 40 years. You could barely afford an apartment.
Right. We're renting, and they come here and have a house as soon as they get here.
Not only do they have a house, but they got a business.
Right.
Go to Glendale. Look at the Armenians. They have everything they need right there in their community. You don't see them out there protesting and, oh, we need to have signs and Armenian life matters or whoever life matters. So let's get away from the Black Lives Matter thing. Let's talk about the real issue. Let's talk about some money. Let's put some money on the table for black people. If you're taking millions and millions of dollars from the police and Bank of America say they got $1 billion, where is the money at? Show us the money. We don't want no more programs. We don't need no more programs. Thank you, Herb, Wesson, and all the rest of you Negro leaders. Fall back right now because there's some young ones out there and they ain't playing. They ain't playing with this Black Lives Matter thing. They say, gee, if we don't get our money and get it right now, we're going to really tear some stuff up. We just going to go all in. And I'm like, hold on a minute. I got a program. It's called Urban Economics. What Urban Economics is, it's going to be a program where you register with Urban Economics And through urban economics, there's going to be a financial institution set up, and it will be called Infinity Financial Services. What Infinity Financial Service will do is, as you register black men and women, it's only for black people. And I'm not trying to exclude any other race, but right now I can only concentrate on the community I live in, that I was raised in, and the community that's suffering and that's poor right now. I can't concentrate on the Hispanic community. I can't concentrate on any other community but the black community and what black men and women need at this particular point in time in our life. We need financial stability, and we need it because we've earned it. We're not asking for nothing, and we're not begging for anything. We've earned our right to have that money, period. Because with finances and understanding, the police will respect you as human beings. When they know you out there barely making it, they make it harder on you. Like if your car is parked barely in the red, maybe you got a little bumper in the red, here come a ticket. Okay, but if you in Beverly Hills or anywhere like that, you could be triple parked and they know you got money, you in a Bentley, they'll ride right by you. It's no problem. So we need to financially stabilize our situation in our communities. We have been left out for so long. Everybody is having money. Everybody is saying go vote. Who you voting for? Do you know? I mean, look at it. You had a black president. Or you had a Caucasian man with a dark tan. That's all I call it. Because anytime you in office and you in position and you don't do nothing for the people that look like you, there's something wrong there. And black people love this guy. And I'm like, what did he do?
Everybody black mostly love this guy because he's of the same race. But they can't tell you what he actually did.
So I'm going to ask you a question. This is my co-host, the beautiful Shari. Can you tell me one thing that Obama did for black people? Just one. Don't tell me nothing else. Well, hold it before you answer the question. Don't tell me about Obamacare. I don't want to hear about that. Don't tell me about he talked good. Don't tell me about he shot jump shots with Steph Curry. Don't tell me you seen him at a North Carolina game when Zion Williamson blew out his sneaker. Tell me what he did for black men and women.
He showed you that he can make it to the White House.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's all you looking for, he made it to the White House. I guess black people should be happy at that. I mean, Keenan Ivory Wayans had In Living Color on Fox television station. He made it too. He made it from poor New York to Hollywood.
He made it to the White House, and they named a street after him afterwards.
Okay. He named the street. They named the street after him. Mm-hmm. Why?
Because he was the only black president, so they want to give him something. They named a street after him.
Quick question. Did he show up for that street naming?
No, he didn't. He sent a letter of thank you.
Okay, so I like this guy. He's the president. I named a street after him. A big street in Los Angeles, California. One of their main streets. And he didn't show up?
No.
Interesting. But we love him, boy, to death. He can't do no wrong. Wow. Okay. And since we on this topic, I see now that they renaming John Wayne Airport. They tearing down statues, snatching down flags. I get all that. But at the end of the day, where is the money at? Where's the money at? Do you know?
They're giving it to every race that's coming over here, like you said.
Okay, but what about the black race?
They're speaking on it here today, but we don't see nothing. All because of the deaths and how the police is murdering different black men. So they're saying they have a plan and things are going to happen, but I haven't seen nothing yet.
So, okay, you out here, you riding, and you got your signs out here, and yet you still don't have no money in your pocket? That's a foolish way to go. Foolish way to go. Do not follow anybody that's telling you to get out there and march and you don't have a weapon in your hand or a bulletproof vest. Because when the police really go to laying it down and you out here with a popsicle stick and a sign talking about Black Lives Matters, oh, yeah, it's going to be serious. See, the police is backing up right now, and I'll tell you why the police is backing up. And you may not agree with me. The police is backing up because Trump told them to back up. This man is in office. Believe me, he could have pushed the button a long time ago and said, look, go in there and do what you got to do and get rid of that situation. Like your president did. A lot of black men and women died on Obama's seat in office. And guess what? You didn't tear down not one statue. You didn't tear down not one flag. You didn't go in front of the White House and crip walk. You didn't do nothing. You just didn't do nothing. But now he in office and you tearing everything up. And he already said when he went into office, he said, wait a minute. Black people has had a hard time, a hard life, a hard way to go. Let me see what I can do. And then next thing you know, everybody started this campaign, F Donald Trump. I'm not going to use any curse words on this show because that's against Shari and I's belief. We don't use those words. Well, I don't.
I don't either.
Okay, so this will be cuss word friendly. We may get upset every now and then and something might slip, but we're going to pull that on back because we don't use, we try not to use vulgar language or cuss words. I use Negro a lot because my birth certificate read Negro, born to two Negroes.
That's right. Mine do too.
Your birth certificate don't read that.
Yes, it do.
Girl, you too light-skinned for your birth certificate to read that, girl. Mine read that for sure. And when I seen that, I cried.
Right.
Why did I cry? I wonder why was I crying when I seen Negro, born to two Negroes. And it wasn't crying for me. I was crying for my mother and father because to struggle with that title.
Right.
And I knew they was doing all they could to take care of their family, and yet they were titled Negroes. Not African American. Oh, they wasn't African American then?
No, they weren't.
Oh, they African American now, though?
Right.
Oh, okay.
We were Negroes, then we were black, and now we African Americans.
You forgot colored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, throw colored in there. We was colored.
Right, that's right.
Okay, now we African Americans. And that's a setup. African Americans is a setup. Never let anyone call you an African American, period. And I'll tell you the setup. The setup is when you look at your application and it says African and it says / American. Make sure you look at that carefully. African / American, which means they can take that the American tag off of you, and now you just an African. Now they can send you back to Africa, and wherever you land is where you land. You got to be careful with the United States. They're not playing at all. You have to understand the mental psyche of the people that run this country. And I'll give you a for instance. Now you go to DMV, they want you to bring your birth certificate. Why? Because they want you to declassify and reclassify at the same time. So if your birth certificate read like mine, Negro, they want me to take the Negro tag off and put the African American tag. Only you can change that. They can't change that. So when you go and sign an African American, you're reclassifying yourself. You declassified from Negro. Look at your birth certificate. If your birth certificate read Negro, born to two Negroes, that means the United States owe you constitution-wise. It's written in the Constitution, and they got to pay up. You got to make them pay up. If somebody owe you some money and you don't ask for it, why would they pay you? I wouldn't pay you. If I owed you some money and you never asked for it, I wouldn't pay you. You'd just be somebody I owe. So when you look at your birth certificate, if it reads Negro, born to two Negroes, that's exactly what you are. You're not African American. You are a Negro. So I use that a lot because I want people to go and look at their birth certificates. And if it reads Negro, born to two Negroes, it's time to get paid. And I got a solution to get us paid. I don't want to be the only one out here paid because I'm going to get paid and I'm going to make sure Shari gets paid. We're going to eat. Now, everybody else can knock the program and, oh, gee, you just trying to steal money and you trying to do this and do that. No, I'm okay. She's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I'm trying to make sure we all okay. I like to see happy people. Happy people is what I like to see. Shout out to the Callaways because they are in the community. They of the community. They have a fine, nice Taco Tuesday at the Regency West every Tuesday night. Beautiful people. I love what they do because it's free, no charge. That's what you talk about community. Right. So if she was running for the president or her husband, that's who you would choose and say, these people right here know what we need, these people in the community, and they love the community, and you feel the love. There's no fake and phoniness with the Callaways. Shout out to the Callaways. I love them, period. Because they don't have to do that. They're the only ones doing that, really.
And I like the fact that they kept it open and they still in the black community.
There it is there.
They trying to run out the blacks out of Lamert. They already ran out the blacks from West Adams. I mean, the communities are gone. Everybody else is there. So they still having the Taco Tuesday, and they keep it going, and everybody still come.
And that's a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing. That lets you know that there's people that's of the community, in the community, that believes in the community and wants the community to stay and thrive. So, again, shout out to Tony and Vanessa Bell Calloway. I love them to death. Wonderful, wonderful people. If you ever in Los Angeles, California, go check out Taco Tuesday at the Regency West. Beautiful people. Back to this topic I was talking about the reclassification and declassification. So when you look at all your applications and they come and they say African / that slash is the kickstand. That kicks you out of the country. And you got to be careful and understand what's going on right now. Right here, think. If you talk about taking away money from the police department, well, where do you think it's going to go? It's going to go to programs that are going to be against you and not for you. And I'll tell you, for instance, this is going to happen. As soon as they defund the police department, and I don't want you to say, gee, you was right, man. How you know? How you know? I don't want to hear that how you know, because it'll be too late then. It's like Noah's Ark. When Noah tried to preach to the people and tell the people, come on, get on this ship, get on this ark. And they was like, oh, get out of here. You crazy. And then they got flooded. They missed that boat ride. You don't want to miss this. What's going to happen is they're going to turn California into a no parole state. It's going to be the first no parole state. And other states are going to adapt this program. What a no parole state means is, since you're defunding the police department and we don't have enough men on hand to go out and conduct our business as law enforcement officers and to stop these criminal elements from doing what they do, then if you commit a crime and you're sentenced and you do your time, you can't live in California no more. You can parole anywhere but California. It'll be called the no parole state. So you got to be careful of that. So when you go at these police and law enforcement, believe me, they're always cooking something. The police don't cook. The government don't wait around for you to come in and keep on attacking them. What you did, it was good because you got their attention. But now you got all these funny so-called house niggas coming up. Well, let's do this. Let's do that. Do it this. My program. Nah. Don't let them take away from what you did. You did something. You got their attention. You got to keep their attention now. It's like having a beautiful woman in front of you and you get her attention and then you fall back. Well, she's going to lose interest in you. You got their attention. You got to keep their attention. Because if you let the Negro leaders come up that's been robbing you and haven't done anything for your community, go outside, look at your community. It's boarded up. They really don't want to do business with you. And who behind the counter cooking? Mexicans.
Right.
Every restaurant I go to in our so-called community, who's behind the counter?
Mexicans.
Cooking.
And the blacks are ringing you up.
The blacks ring you up and the Mexicans is cooking.
Right.
I'm not eating out anymore in the black neighborhood.
Right.
I just can't do it. I can't support something that I don't believe in or feel. If this is a black community, let it be a black community. If you go to East LA, you go to Southgate, and you go to any other gates or any other Spanish name communities or towns, they're all ran by Hispanics. You're not going to go into a restaurant.
They're cooking, ringing you up, everything.
Everything.
Not one black there.
Not one black there. So understand that when you allow the people who have oppressed you to be up on you and right next to you, then you're not fighting against nobody. You're fighting against yourself. Who you fighting against? If you got Caucasian on your right, Caucasian on your left, and you out there and they holding signs and they taking pictures of you while you not even looking, and they telling you Black Lives Matters, they're the oppressor. That's like black men and women marching with the KKK.
Right.
Who does that?
Right.
Yeah, you might as well go hold up a sign with them and march with them. It's the same difference. Because those same Caucasian people that's out there marching with you, that's supporting Black Lives Matters, will put you in jail. You out there marching with undercover police officers. And they taking good pictures of you. They like this, click, click. I just seen on the news where they arrested this white man for some liquor he stole a week ago in the riots. And he hadn't even opened the liquor. So if they petty about this Caucasian man stealing some liquor, what you think they're going to do to you? And you done went and tore up Beverly Hills and tore up the Grove. Yeah, them secret indictments are coming. You better get in the house and stay in the house. Do not march with Black Lives Matters.
Right. They showed it yesterday on the news. They had a black young girl that had stole weave hair out of a beauty shop. And they tracked her down during this loot, and they just tracked her down the other night and picked her up from her house in San Bernardino.
Black people, wake up. If you don't do nothing else, just wake up. If you open your ears, you'll hear me. I'm not endorsing no candidate. I'm not out here telling you what to do. I'm saying, as a black man and woman, fall back. Don't vote for nobody. Don't let nobody have your vote. You tell them if they want your vote, it's going to cost. And if they ask you how much, you tell them $1 million to start. A meal ticket. Because when they bring people to this country and they give them an EBT card, they give them $100,000 every year. Every year. I'm at USC with students that are not even citizens. And they live in Marina Del Rey, Brentwood, Beverly Hills. And I'm like, how you do that? They're like, oh, the United States takes good care of us. They bring us over, they give us nice homes, and they give us a free education. I'm like, wow. And I asked them, and they come from all over, from Asia, China, Japan, any other country you could think of. And they over here getting free education and free everything. And when I say free, I mean the money that they give these people to live over here, you wouldn't even believe it. I was on a bus with an Asian student, because I drive the transportation buses at USC. That's the reason. So I'm driving, I got the Marina Del Rey route. And I'm going to Marina Del Rey to drop him off because USC have campuses all over. So I'm dropping him off right there on Medrano, right there at that Chase building on the corner. We talking, and I don't know how we got in the political discussion, and I was telling him, like, you know, I'm just neutral to all of it. He said, I am too. He said, I don't vote. I was like, what do you mean you don't vote? He said, no, I'm not even a citizen over here. And so I'm like, well, why does the black vote matter when you got at least 10 to 20 million people over here that are not even citizens? You're not even asking for their vote because they can't vote. They're not citizens. But yet you will endorse every program that's on your table. But when the black program get there, the Senate, they just stall. Everything just, it's like they hit brakes. Reparations been on the table way back since the 50s, since the 40s, the 30s. And now we here today still begging? Like, come on, black people. We can't do it like this. We can't be out here marching frivolously for just some old mundane type of situation for a flag or for a statue to be taken down. Let them have all that. That's theirs. I like the Duke. There's a movie called Katie Elder's Son with the Duke and Dean Martin in it. I watch that all the time. That's one of my favorite Westerns. Leave that alone. The John Wayne Airport, leave that alone. All you doing is going in and flying in and out. You ain't got nothing to do with all that. None of that is going to put financial stability up underneath you. None of it. None of it. Taking down statues, tearing this down, burning that down. See, that's white kids out there having fun, being rebellious against their parents. You let them do that. They dressing in black. They out there, and they have you thinking that they with you. But yet and still, they really against you because their parents are the reasons why you in this situation. So if you got a white friend and they really, really like you, tell them to cut the check. Because no longer do we want to see educational programs. Put a check in the mailbox, and if we want to go to school, we'll go to school. If we want to open up a business, we'll open up a business. Do us like you do all the other foreigners that come to this country. That's what we're looking for right now. Treat us equal to everyone else in this country, and we okay. Keep your flag, keep your statues, keep everything. Keep your White House. When they renamed the White House, I know they did something.
Right. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, when they rename the White, how you a black president, you don't rename the White House?
Right.
Just for you in there 8 years, at least say something. Hey, look, you can't call this the White House while I'm in here.
Well, he let people in there that haven't been there before. The Girl Scouts had some there, and he did stuff for a lot of people.
Well, you're going to get me upset. Boy, you know what? Yeah. Like I said, man, I can't understand why everybody hates Donald Trump right now when before he was president, he was in every rap video. Every rapper was calling his name. He was on a yacht with Puffy and everybody else. Soon as he went into the White House, he's a racist.
Well, you know everybody's going to ask that question to you. Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm neutral. I'm not voting until they put a check in my pocket. Something for real. Nah, my votes count. Yeah, they cost money, man, for me to go up there and waste my time. And nah, I'm not the average black person because I don't fall for what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
If everybody going left,
You going right.
I'm going right because the money is on the right. The money is that way. Ain't nothing that way.
Everybody's just following each other.
Everybody's following, and then they don't even
With
know.
no answer behind it. Why are we going that way?
They don't even know why they're going that way.
Why are we going to vote? Because everybody else is.
You know what? Not me, not you.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we got some more topics we want to look at too. We'll be discussing a financial plan afterwards during the closing before we get out of here. But right now we're going to go into the topic of Leimert Park. That's allegedly supposed to be a black community. That's where everybody meet and show up at. There was a time where Department of Water and Power was charging black men and women, or people that live in Leimert Park, which is the majority of black men and women. They were overcharging them a lot of money on their water and power bills. And come to find out, they were not checking the meters. So for years, for like 10, 15 years, they wasn't coming out checking the meters. They was sending you a bill. I don't know what they were doing. They came, checked in, clocked in, and went on break, and that was it. But they would send you $500 and $600 water and power bills, and you're like, wait a minute, whoa, hold up, what is this? Yet, this woman caught them. This black woman caught them. And she set a trap for them. And for at least a good 6-7 months, they wasn't reading the meter. So when she brought it to their attention, they wanted to fight her and everything. And to no avail, she won her case. They turned it into a class action lawsuit. But what happened was they only allowed maybe 10 people to be on that class action lawsuit. But they was beating hundreds of people that lived in Leimert Park. So how does 10 people get paid when you beat over 1,000 people? Even the feds went in there and confiscated their records because they knew the things that they had been doing in Leimert Park, charging all this money. Yet, because I was living in there and they charged me, tried to charge me $2,000 for some water and power. I said, absolutely not. I'm not paying that. And then they started talking slick. I started talking slicker. And next thing you know, they dropped my bill down to like $150. I said, that's me.
Was your name on the lawsuit?
Nah, I missed the law. And I told them about that, and they talking about I was too late. How do I miss the lawsuit and you charge me for 10, 15 years something that you wasn't even reading?
Well, that was just her lawsuit because they still doing it here today.
They're doing it here today, but the feds went in there. But see, it's hush-hush. See, here's the thing. Let me tell you about the feds. You can pay the feds off, but you got to have a big check for them, and then they'll back up. Just like, let me go into this real quick. USC. Now, I worked at USC for 5 years. Now, let me show you to get down with these crooks up here at USC. I went in through a temporary agency, and they was paying the temp agency for my services $30 an hour. But the temp agency was only giving me $15, and they took the other half. Okay, I get it. I'm using your service to get in. Well, they liked what I was doing, so it only took me a month to get hired in. So I get hired into USC, and they only giving me $15 an hour. I said, wait a minute, hold up. You was giving them $30 for me. Now I'm here with you, and you only giving me $15? oh, yeah, well, you got to, prove yourself. Well, I already proved myself. That's why I'm here. I went through 6 background checks, and I told you about my past, and now I'm here. Why am I still at $15 an hour? And they was like, well, you'll be all right. Yet, USC, this is how they pay people. They pay you how they like you. So if they like you, then that's the way they pay you. If you go in there and they like you, they'll give you $20, $30 an hour. If they don't like you, they're going to keep you at the low end.
Like you mean how? How do you mean like you? Don't they give you how much you're going to make an hour once you get hired in?
No, they left me at $15 an hour. But this is what I mean by like you. Okay, so at one time, the HR department was ran by all black women, pretty much.
Okay.
Different departments at USC was ran by black men and women. Well, they brought all Hispanics in, and they fired or they compensated out different black individuals from their positions, or they phased them out. So now it's maybe only 3, 4 black women in HR up there, and I know all of them real good.
Okay.
And it's all Mexican. So when Mexicans come to the job, they get them everything. I'm talking about everything. So they might start you off at 15, but start him off at 20.
I see what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah.
It's Mexicans running it.
Right.
When black people's run something, they get scared. They go, oh, I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to get in trouble. Mexicans go in there grabbing at everything.
Right.
And they take care of their people. So I caught their hand in the cookie jar, and I said, check this out. I can go public with it. I can keep it quiet. How you want to do it? And they said, well, look, we'll give you the Galen Center. Cool. They said, you can throw a concert up there. I said, cool. So I called some people I know, and they threw a concert up there, and it was cool. They let me get it for a reasonable rate, and I was like, all right, cool. I'll keep quiet about some things I know about, USC around here, because every year, 3 to 4 individuals commit suicide on campus.
Wow.
Young girls, student girls up there are getting raped. And on one street, it's all mansions. It's Fraternity Row. And the police, USC police, stand by and let them put plastic bags up on the gates all the way around.
Right.
And they let these young kids get drunk, do drugs, fall out, just act a fool. And they not even 20. They still young. I'm driving a bus around there looking at them. I done picked up a few of them drunk off the ground. How old are you? I'm only 17. I'm like, why are you drinking like this? I'm sorry, can you just take me to my... Yeah, I got you. Police standing right there. That's USC, though.
Right.
So now, bring it up to speed. The reason I'm not going to be up there any longer is because the Hispanics are taking over. They put the Mexicans in position, so when the Mexicans get position, they hate blacks. They do blacks real dirty up there, and I'll tell you why. We're in the break room, transportation break room, and the Spanish ones that are in there are talking Spanish are calling the black people in there monkeys and baboons and apes. And there's one individual that knows Spanish. See, you got to be careful when you talk Spanish, because all of us ain't dumb with it or stupid with it. Some of us know Spanish and know it pretty good. They can speak it very, very well. So they were in there in their Spanish dialect calling black people monkeys and apes and so on or whatever. And it was going back to the black drivers there in the break room like, okay. But see, black people get scared on these jobs. They be like, oh, I better not say nothing because I'm going to lose my job. You only making $12, $13, $14, $16, $17 an hour. My dignity is more than that. I told them, check this out. You're not paying me enough here. We got to separate. It's like a bad relationship in a marriage. We got to separate. Because what they do to black men and women at USC is just, they don't pay them, and then they work them super, super hard. Okay, for instance, my case, I do 40 hours plus. Well, instead of them paying me 40 hours plus, they would pay me 36, 37, and then take the other hours and put it over on the overtime. And I'm like, that's not the way that's supposed to go. I'm supposed to get paid for my 40 regular. If I clock in and do 40 regular, and then whatever is overtime, that goes to overtime. You don't just cut me short on my regular 40 and then say, oh, we giving you overtime. You cheating me out of my money. And they did that the whole time I was there. And when I brought it to their attention, they had a problem with it. Then there was this Hispanic guy, and he was trying to get hired in. And I said, well, look, let me show you how to do your paperwork to get in. So I do his paperwork for him, and he get hired in. They put him over me in seniority. And seniority is big on
How
these.
is that possible if you've been there longer?
They knew it, but they was playing games as Hispanic. We have a Hispanic manager, and he just put him over me. And I let him
By
rock.
seniority?
Yeah, by seniority.
So he got paid more than you
He
also.
got paid more, and he could pick his route before me. See, seniority means you get to pick the route you want.
Right.
So he gets to go and pick before me, and yet I picked after him, and I let it ride. And I'm gonna tell you why I let it ride. I let it ride for almost a year because I was just like, look, I'm at USC. I got a job. I get to go here free. If I get married, my wife go here free, my kids. But then it started playing on your mental psyche, the little stuff that they were doing, and I was like, I don't need to go here free. I'd rather go check in the Southwest College or something like that and get an AA degree or work that way. I just, sometimes when it's not for you, it's not for you. USC is one of the most racist institutions because they can see stuff going down, and now that they have Hispanics, and white people are crafty. They're not going to attack you. They'll put the house nigga to come get you, or they'll put Mexicans to come and get you. And that's a lot of people that's attacking you. It's like you really don't have a chance. And at USC, they do them black people dirty. I mean, they would put black people on runs and allow Mexican people to sit back and not have to do their runs. Or the Mexican people would not do their runs, and yet they wouldn't get in trouble. But if the black people didn't do their runs, they get written up. Like, if you have an accident or too many accidents, you're supposed to get in trouble. But what they would do, if you was black and you just hit up against a car, anything, any type of accident, they make you go drug test right away. It could be 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, go drug test. But if a Hispanic hits somebody, they give them a day or two before they go drug test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We get a day or two before they go drug test. But the black ones, you hurry up.
Right.
You be like, nah, I threw some paper out the window and hit this guy's car. Okay, come on. Go on over there and get that cup. And they hard on black people. They don't want to promote black men and women up there. It's like, you got to get in where you fit in. And I know it's going to be some house niggas that, he ain't telling the truth. I'm telling you my experience with USC. They was cool at first. Let me put that there. They was super solid at first. I was eating with them. I'm doing everything with them. They was solid. It went bad fast because they realized I'm a black man and I wasn't accepting all that. I shucked and danced and did the house in the row and got up in there. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir. Where you going? And then when I got in there, I was like, okay, now this is how it's done.
Yeah, but each black person that leave out of that job opportunity, they post it as bilingual.
Right. And the cold part about it, I had a friend of mine that was there, and she was there 15 years. They didn't give her no reason. They just told her position was phased out. They brought a Spanish woman in and gave her position, but gave it a different title.
Wow.
And she had been there for 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah, they cold with it at USC. That's a dirty institution right there. And then they allowed Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine to open up a school there. Now, notice this, because they're about their money. USC is private. They different from any other university. They're private. So when people kill themselves on campus, which they do that every year, like 3, 4, 5 of them, people just go and blow their brains out on campus. Boom. We driving, and they got big buildings at USC. People jumping off, doing somersaults off the building. Wow, dead. Students.
Wow.
They caught a doctor over there. Having a cocaine party with some strippers, and he was a doctor, and they caught him.
And what was done?
Nothing. You guess how much he was making a year?
How much?
$3 million.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
And nothing was done.
Yes, sir. $3 million. So Laura Loughlin and all these other parents who paid for their kids to go to school there, they were fully in the clear. Why would you let the feds scare you into taking a deal? You was good. USC put an agent in the middle and had him go out there and solicit you and your child to go there. I know somebody whose daughter qualified to go there, and they told her, we need to speak with your mother because you have been accepted at USC academically. Everybody happy. She's smart.
Right.
They called the mother, and the mother said, well, I just work a regular job. They said, well, how much money can you donate to the university?
Oh, wow.
She said, I just work a regular 9 to 5. I don't have it like that. And they said, well, your daughter she won't qualify to go here then. And so then her daughter ended up going to Cal Berkeley. All because the mother didn't pay that money. So what USC do, look how dirty they are. They real dirty up there. They get this guy and they put him in the middle. And they tell him, look, you go out there and find the people with money who kids want to go to this school, and we'll give you a kickback and they'll give you a kickback too. So he's getting kicked on both ends. In order to get into USC, you have to go through an admissions program. It's a lot to go to that university. And yet, this guy was working as an agent for USC, and yet, because he wanted to tell the people who went through his program are now going to jail for what? For something that they did because USC put this guy in place? Right. How are you able to go to a university if USC don't okay it?
Right.
It had to be okay. This guy was their go-to guy. This was
right.
their patsy.
They had to put it on somebody.
So they put it on him, but USC is in the clear. The feds ain't charging USC. They charging the people like Laura Loughlin and her husband. They should have fought that all the way through. Who is this middle guy? Where did he come from?
Right. SC have him.
SC.
They paid him.
And this is the cold part. You want to hear the cold part?
Yeah, I'm listening.
He wasn't the only one doing it. They still have people today doing that same thing under other programs.
Right.
Playing the middle part. So if you pay for your kid to go to USC through any of these middle agents, fight the feds. Don't give in to the feds. You let them know this guy in the middle offered us a free ride for this amount of money. That's against the law. That's against the law. It's like if you got two drug dealers and you got the middleman going to jail too. He the one hooked up the deal.
Right.
He brought the two ends together.
That's right.
How you let one end go without being punished, but you punish the middle and this end? Those people should get a refund, a full refund for their money, and USC should be charged and penalized.
Right.
That's how you do it the right way. That's the right way of doing it. But again, USC have a lot of money, and they're not going to do nothing to that university like that. It's private, and they just look at it like, hey, oh, well, we got away with that. But USC is a dirty university. I was there. I seen it firsthand. I was driving for the president. Let me show you how dirty they did me one time. So they asked me to drive for the president of USC. I said, no problem. So his party, they was playing Texas, this particular game. So I picked up the president's party and met him, and we were supposed to be going to the Coliseum for a game. And I tilt the bus. So when you tilt the bus, you tilt it because I seen this older Caucasian lady walking up. I said, well, let me tilt the bus and help her up. Well, as she was walking up, she was old and feeble. She had to be at least in her late 80s, early 90s. She come up shaking in, and I was like, oh, let me help you up. And she was like, oh, no, not you. Don't touch me. And I was like, okay. So then her daughter or somebody came and said, I got her. I said, okay, cool. I fell back. Right then and there. See, I'm a house nigga. I'm going to show you how a house nigga get down. I said, okay, this is how we going to do this. All right, cool. I called up one of the most ghettoest dudes I knew in the neighborhood. I said, hey, man, you want to go to this football game? Because what they did, they gave me an itinerary and a package deal. They gave me a band. I could eat free. I could sit with the president, all that. I gave it to the most ghetto dude I could find in the neighborhood, and he went in there and acted a fool. But they was calling. They was like, where's your, where? Oh, he acted a fool. He was eating up everything, drinking everything, kicked his legs up. Oh, they was so mad. My manager called me and said, Joe, we won't need you no more. I said, that's what I wanted to hear.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. I figured that would work. He said, we won't need you no more in this president detail. I said, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool because I can't play the house nigga at all. I thought I could. I ain't gonna lie. I tried it. But it just...
it's not in you. Huh?
It's not in me. Okay. It's not in me. I couldn't. I couldn't do it. You know. Because they look at white people and they looking at you like, yeah.
Right.
Serve me. And I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not the one.
Shoot, I'll be done took them to Compton or South Central LA
and
opened up and let them out and say the bus broke down.
Right.
Yeah, you got the right one now, boy. So I can't do it. But shout out to the house niggas because they keep it going and they keep us feel niggas strong. So the only way we can be strong is if the house nigga is strong. So stay doing what you're doing, house nigga, because we feel niggas. We coming to get you. Yeah, and if you don't know what a house nigga is, look at Django. And look at Samuel Jackson's character in Django. That's a for real house nigga. He played that to the T. He should have got an award for that.
That's right. I seen that.
He should have got an award for that. That was award worthy.
Right.
Yeah, that was award worthy. He should have got an award for that show. So let's get into my financial program. Okay, so my financial program is this. Urban economics. I want everybody to, this is homework for everybody. Take out your birth certificates and read it. If it reads Negro, born to two Negroes, well, here's urban economics. You register with urban economics, and we're going to create a financial-based program. It's going to be called Infinity Financial Services. And what this program is going to do, once you register with urban economics, you'll be a member of Infinity Financial Service. And all these millions that they grabbing and saying they putting it here and there, we need that to go to urban economics, because once you become a member of Infinity Financial Services, you got a check coming in the mailbox. You will either receive a black card or a platinum card. And on that will be a load of, hopefully, if we do this right, and for our people and only our people, $1 million for each black member. That's what our goal is. Because if you're talking about giving us 40 acres and a mule, let's equivalate that to now. If we equivalate that right now, it would be, let's say, and let's go to low end. Let's not go to high end. Let's go real low. Let's say $1 million for the acre and $1 million for the mule.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Start black people off. Every black man and woman under this, Negro born to two Negroes, should receive $1 million for the mule and $1 million for the acre. Tax free, not to be touched. And then after that, for the rest of their lives, they should receive $250,000 a year. We'll do it in twos.
Those are some high numbers you messing with.
Them is some low numbers.
That's high.
How's that high when everybody come here is getting paid and eating?
Yeah, they are.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's high because black people can't fathom that. I've been a millionaire before. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Okay.
Anybody know me and say, G had it before. He was a real one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of them real ones. I had that before. It's nothing. That's come on, man. Okay, so let me tell you how I came with my numbers. Agriculture is very, very profitable, right? Trump just gave, without blinking, $2 billion to the farmers.
Right.
Hold it. We got black farmers out there. You understand? And with the black farmers out there, how much of that money is touching the black farmers? It's touching the white farmers. And they not even farming. They got Mexicans farming for them.
Right.
So they sitting back collecting the wealth. And you tell me $1 million is too much?
Well, a lot of people would say that's a high number.
Okay, well, we're going to stay with that number.
Okay.
$1 million for the mule, another $1 million for the acre, tax-free, and then $250,000 for the rest of that black man or woman's life.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Tax-free.
All right.
That's how you say, I'm not only sorry, but I care about you and I want you to be here. This is Say It Loud. I'm G. I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host, Shari. I'm on your side. I'm sticking with you.
And there it is there. Thank you for tuning in. Again, we didn't cover all the issues because I could sit here and bring up some issues. I mean, I done it and been there. So our next show, we're going to cover as much as we can. But remember, get your birth certificate. And if it read Negro, born to two Negroes, we need to talk to you because you need to become a member of Urban Economics. And through Urban Economics will be Infinity Financial Service. And we're going to get this money. You let them march and throw signs and let them throw fire, do whatever they want to do. Tear down statues. Let's go to the right. Let's go get the money. Let them go to the left. We going to the right. We going to get the money. Because when you look at Black Lives Matters, that's just a ploy to endorse a Democratic candidate such as Joe Biden. He don't even have to campaign. He only said one thing: if you black, vote for me. Oh, wow, really? Well, my vote counts. You got to pay me, Joe. Anyway, tune in the next time with your host, G.
And co-host, Shari.
And this is Say It Loud. Peace, and we love you.
From one friend to another, it seems that something's been bothering you. If you've got a minute, maybe there's something that I can say or do. See, I realize that life has its changes and sometimes things just don't go right. But here's one thing I want you to think about as you lie in your bed tonight. When the whole world seems against you and your whole life seems unborn, and all you ever wanted was a little peace, I can understand just how you feel. But a little bit of peace of mind nowadays is so hard to find. You can't even find it in your sleep. Here's some advice that I think you should keep, and baby,